We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Nicole Byer, helping you make those rooms flyer. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild! Like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Ooh, fierce! This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
From the Kiss 92.5 studios in Toronto, Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is Roz and Mocha.
It's Roz and Mocha. What's going on?
Hey guys, this is Bruno Mars.
This is Selena Gomez.
The Chainsmokers.
Lady Gaga.
Calvin Harris.
Celestia Cara.
This is Ed Sheeran.
You're listening to my boys Roz and Mocha.
Roz and Mocha.
My boys Roz and Mocha.
The Roz and Mocha Show.
Between Roz and Mocha, who is your favorite?
Roz. Mocha. Roz. Mocha. You guys are so funny, man.
Congratulations, Lisa! Wow! You just won $1,000.
That is amazing. Y'all just made my entire morning. Keep it up.
You guys are awesome, man.
This is the Roz and Mocha Show podcast. Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
What advice can you guys give me?
Okay, so my question is...
Got a problem you can't fix?
Roz and Mocha got you.
Yo, Carlos, what up? It's Roz and Mocha.
Hey, how's it going, boys?
Good, man. Why are you on FML today?
How do I say stop blocking me in nicely?
Carlos, you wrote it, says, hey, Roz and Mocha, Fix My Life. I moved into a multiplex in September where 5 cars share an L-shaped driveway. We're in the basement. 2 friends live above. Chill vibe at first. After ankle surgery in December, they parked in front of my car. Fine. I wasn't driving then. Now I'm back to work. It gave me the heads up, and they're still blocking me in. I'm constantly messaging them to get out. Once they left town without even telling me, and I was stuck all night. How do I bring this up without ruining a good neighbor vibe? So hold on here. So
But
you guys,
if it's an L-shaped and everyone has a spot, why are they not parking in their spot?
My biggest concern, exactly. I think it's more so of when you're in a rush, you move your car. Like, they all have access to each other's car keys, they're friends. And they just moved their first car in front of mine, not realizing that I had to leave that same day.
Oh.
so is this happening every day now?
Majority, I would say. Majority.
Okay, so explain this to me. So you pull into the driveway, right? And
Yes.
and there's no cars in the driveway, so you're first in?
No, technically there's always going to be someone here because we all have different responsibilities, different lifestyles, but it's just, for me, it feels like because I'm the furthest one in, it's harder for me to get out.
So why are you always the furthest one in?
Because of the parking situation. When we first moved in, there was a segment of the parking spot that wasn't utilized, and that was a spot that I was assigned to.
Oh, so it's assigned spots.
Yeah.
Oh.
What if you trade spots with one of them?
We do, if it's permitted, but it's sometimes because for me, I have my appointments in the morning, I have work, I have the gym. So I'm constantly on the go, and sometimes it's hindering my current commute when it's becoming a pattern where, like, because of lately, I've been running into this recurring issues quite literally, and I'm being blocked in.
Okay, I'm not understanding this here. Okay, so it's a driveway, right?
Yes.
There's only room for, like, it's unavoidable that somebody's going to get blocked in, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so your problem isn't that you're getting blocked in. Your problem is that you just don't like what spot you were assigned.
Oh, no. I love the spot I'm assigned because it's easier for me to get out if someone's not in front of me. It can essentially fit 6 cars if it's a tight squeeze. So there's only 5. So if the 5th car wasn't there, then I'm able to move.
Okay, so how are you getting blocked in, though?
Because the person who lives with us, they move the car, like the other person's car out of the way, putting it in front of mine so they can get out easier, just leaving that car there.
So have you had a conversation with every single person that owns a spot?
I've had that conversation. It's becoming a point where I am constantly messaging them saying,
okay, so dude, if this is happening all the time, you're only, like, for me, I would just call a tow truck and get the car towed if you got to leave, man. And if they say anything about it, be like, yo, we talked about this enough times. Like, I have somewhere to be. We all have a parking spot available to us. Like, park in your spot.
If everybody parks the way that they should be parking, can everybody get in and out of that driveway without somebody else having to move their car?
On my side, yes. On their side, no.
Okay, so it's not, you don't have a driveway blocking, like you don't have a blocking in problem, like you don't have a bad neighbor problem. You have a driveway problem.
Correct. But at the same time, it's just a matter of...
So if everybody, so if the driveway is full and everybody's parking where they're supposed to be parking, right?
Yep.
You cannot get out.
I can.
Bro.
That's the weird part. I can.
Okay, so then who's doing the wrong thing?
It's a mix. It's a mix of everybody else. It's just a collaborative mix.
So if the driveway, right, and are you the only one that can't get out if everybody's doing this, or is everybody else fine and it's just you?
No, it's only me because I'm the inner spot. I'm in the little nook.
Okay.
So for me, I would have to maneuver almost like a 30-point turn just to safely get myself out of there.
Okay. So if everybody does what they're supposed to do.
Yo, Ross is so mad.
Okay. If everybody parks where they're supposed to park, then everybody can get in and out of that driveway, no problem, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So this is a conversation, I guess, that everybody has to have where everybody needs to realize that it works fine if everybody just parks in their spot the way they're supposed to park.
I was hoping that would be the answer, but it seems to be the issue that we're experiencing.
Just get a car
So
towed,
here's what I would do is that if you pull into your driveway, right? Two things are going to happen. Either one, you're going to have to call somebody the next morning when you have to leave, right? Or
constant right now.
Or somebody's going to have to call you when they get home. So if you realize that you get home and you're not able to get in or out of your spot, park behind somebody in a spot you're not supposed to be in, right? And then they're going to have to call you to say, hey, can you move your car so I can get in? And that's how it gets sorted.
I can do that, technically.
Oh, my God. So frustrating. Jesus, Carlos.
All right, Carlos, there you go. You got some options, I guess. And you got Ross really upset. On our next FML, Ross.
Bro, can't even, dude.
Have a good day, man.
Thank you.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
What advice can you guys give me?
Okay, so my question is...
Got a problem you can't fix?
Roz and Mocha got you.
Welcome to Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life, Miriam. What's on your mind?
Well, how do I make only feel like more than enough?
Okay. Miriam Mura says, hey, Roz and Mocha, fix my life. My almost 6-year-old is suddenly asking for a sibling, but we're very much a one-and-done family. I was never a kid person, but I knew my husband would be an amazing dad, and he is. Our daughter has been the easiest, chillest kid, and we feel complete. Now I'm wondering, are we being selfish? Another baby means leaving our dream condo someday, changing our lifestyle, and maybe rolling the dice on a very different personality. We love our little trio, especially for travel, cottage weekends, and one-on-one time. We're making sure she's surrounded by strong friendships and plan to bring a friend along on adventures when she's a little older. But how do I help her see that being an only child can still mean a full, beautiful life?
Well, Miriam, you've come to the right place because you're talking to two dudes who each have a single child at home as well,
and both of us have siblings as well, right?
Yeah.
So I know, and it's to hear your story. Like I've had these thoughts before years ago, not so much now because Roxy's 15. But you know, like my relationship with my brother is so strong. Like we still live together. You know, like we still live in the same house together. And he, you know, I'm 50 and he's 53 or whatever it is, and we've been together our whole lives. And I couldn't imagine my life without him. But when it came to having kids, we had Rox, and we were sort of like, never even really discussed having another one or the idea of a sibling, even though Catherine has 2 siblings. You know, and it wasn't a financial thing. It wasn't, I don't really know what it was. But Mocha can tell you that, as a kid who was an only child for, much of his life when he was younger, right? Yeah. Loved the life of an only child. And it took years for Mocha to adjust having siblings.
Yeah. I hated it.
Babies.
I pushed the baby.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, yeah, you listen to the docuseries. Okay. That's the one thing you pick out from it? But no, here's the thing though. When I was growing up, because there's such a big age gap between myself, my sister Laura, and especially myself and my sister Lisa, growing up, I did feel like I was an only child anyway because of the big age difference and because my parents were tending to my younger sisters, right? So it was building bonds with other friends, because even in my family, I have cousins who are like way older than me, or I have cousins who are in and around my sister's ages. I never grew up with cousins who were my own age. So anyone I hung out with were all like friends from school. Or friends from the neighborhood. And I think that's one thing that you said here in your note to us is surrounding your daughter with other people, building strong friendships. I think that's, the way to go. I don't know if she has cousins in and around her age, even a little bit older, a little bit younger, but I think building those bonds are very important. I don't think there's anything wrong with, having a one child, like one and done type of thing. And you can't let other people get in your ear about, you need another one, or, who's she going to play with? She needs a sibling to grow up with. That's not for everybody.
Yeah. With a 6-year age gap right now, it may be fun, for the 6-year-old when she's 6, 7, 8, and 9. But when she's 16, and she's got a 10-year-old, she's going to do 16, 10-year-old relationship stuff. It's not like they're going to be hanging out, right? I'm not saying that I'm not saying that's any sort of reason to not. You would just do it for you and your husband. Like if you feel that you want to have another one, that you got one more in you, and you just it's just something that you need to do. I wouldn't do it because a 6-year-old is, if your 6-year-old told you to buy a new car, you wouldn't, My thing that just I always had in the back of my head, and again, this is personal for me, it has nothing to do with anything, and I don't want to influence you in any way. But I have a couple of friends and people that I've known over the years where they haven't spoken to their sibling in 20, 25 years, right? And to me, that would break my heart every single day. Like if I had 2 kids and they weren't like me and my brother, it would crush me every single day. If I had 2 kids where as adults they did not talk and did not get along, it would break my heart every single day. But again, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what the dynamic is ultimately going to be. And so am I happy that we had one and I didn't take that chance? Yes, right now, very unbelievably happy that we have one kid and we decided to do it that way.
Same. And I'll tell you this, just from personal experience, Miriam, I didn't really form a close relationship or a bond with my sisters until I was in like my early 20s.
Yeah, like adult time.
Yeah. It wasn't until then where I really started to like learn about them and have adult conversations with them. And like, we're good now, but it took all that time before we were able. And again, that's just my experience. I don't know if that's for,
it's personal.
For everyone. We're just speaking from what we know and how we grew up, right?
Yeah. But I know people that have 4 kids and they love their life.
Absolutely.
Right? They love it. They get like a bunch of kids all running around. They love it. So
the house is loud. The house
like my worst nightmare.
The house stinks. They eat up all your food, but it's all love, right?
Yeah.
It's all love. That's the most important thing.
Are you and your husband on the same page with this?
Yeah.
You are. Okay, cool. Then you're good.
I mean, like,
then you're good.
I would do it for my daughter and I would suffer through.
You wouldn't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't do it for your daughter.
You have to do it for you.
Yeah.
You have to do it for you and your husband and what's best, at the end of the day, what's best for your family, right? And you've kind of like laid out the ideal situation right now, and you're right. Adding another child into the mix is going to change things for a bit.
You're right. You guys are right. How does Roxy feel as an only child of a teen? I'm trying to look into the future for my kids.
She's good. She's good. She's got great friends, and we do the same as you, which is just like we'll make sure that she has like great friendships and do stuff with her friends. And right now, when she and Catherine travel alone, mostly just the two of them because we do this show. But when she gets a little bit older, like friends come up to the cottage, and we'll do all that stuff just to make sure she has somebody there.
Feel better, Miriam?
I do, guys. Thank you so much.
I love you lots. Have a great day, honey. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life
on Kiss.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
What advice can you guys give me?
Okay, so my question is...
Got a problem you can't fix?
Roz and Mocha got you.
Lena has a problem. She's come to the Roz and Mocha show for Fix My Life. Let everyone know what's on your mind.
How do I stop stress from draining my wallet?
Lena Ewer says, hey, Roz and Mocha, Fix My Life. I need some help with stress release ideas that don't involve eating and spending money. I often find myself with daily stress that sometimes piles up, and my go-to is eating too much and spending too much.
How old are you, Lena?
39.
And
So
you
not
live
young.
at home? Do you have a family? What's going on?
Yeah, we have our own place. It's helped a lot since I don't live in the city anymore. I've moved out to Prince Edward County, and
beautiful.
so it takes me like 20 minutes to drive anywhere for food or anything like that. But when I'm in the city for work, I'm in Belleville for work. I tend to want to go. There's a lot more places to shop and a lot more places to eat.
Okay. And how many people in the family?
There's my husband and my 2 kids.
Okay. So is money tight right now?
Yes and no. Like, we are budgeted to be okay. Like, it's our first year in our house, so we just finished our first year. So we kind of know how things are going to be with the house, and it's budgeted. We're fine that way. It's just, like, I don't want to be spending the money if I don't need to. I could save it towards our camping season or something like that,
So you spend money when you're stressed?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so what is the feeling that you get when you spend money that sort of alleviates the stress?
I guess it's just like, ooh, a shiny new object in my hand.
Is spending money and eating a distraction from the things that are stressing you out, or is spending money and eating, you feel, is a fix for the stress, that after it happens, you no longer feel stressed?
It could be probably a distraction more than it fixes anything. Because afterwards, when I bought something, I'm like, hey, now I'm stressed out. Like, it's extra things I don't need.
Yeah.
And it's just an ongoing cycle.
Yeah.
So if distractions work for you, because distractions work for a lot of people, if distractions work for you, you'd be surprised how easy the transition will be if you find a sort of like healthier, and when I say healthier, I just don't mean for your body, but healthier for your life. If you find a healthier distraction than eating and spending money. The reason you're eating and spending money is because those are the two easiest things you can do, and you get an instant hit from it, right? When you are stressed out and you go and you order some garbage food, when that fat and salt hits your tongue, it's instant gratification. It makes everything feel better, right? Instantly. Yeah. And when you spend money, you're giving yourself a gift. You know what I mean? And so you're doing the two easiest things that somebody can do to sort of alleviate stress, but it's false, and you know it's false. It's not real. It's not doing the thing you think it's doing. So I think that if if distractions work for you, then you need to find other distractions.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys do when you have like that stress that maybe, like, I don't know?
Oh, I eat and spend money.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if meditation is your thing, or if that's going too far extreme, or putting on like your favorite podcast just to distract your mind, whether it's our podcast or something else that you enjoy listening to, true crime, something relaxing, anything like that. But just finding a distraction so you aren't spending the money. You're doing something instant. It's readily available. It costs nothing, right?
Yeah. I do binge your podcast. I'm finally reached over 1,000 episodes.
Oh, amazing.
Well, I would say that when you do have those feelings, the thing that works for me is I will say, okay, what do I got? I got 40 minutes here. I'm feeling kind of stressed. I'm feeling kind of, some other way. I always take those moments to learn something. right?
Oh, there you go.
And when I say learn something, I mean something so like just inconsequential to my life or anyone else's life, but I'll just sit there and go, what don't I know how to do? Last week, I was feeling, kind of like that, not super stressed, but I was in one of those moods, and I was like, God, you know what I don't know how to do? I don't know how to tie a chicken. You know when you get a chicken when you want to cook it and it's all tied up with the
string and the legs and the wings,
the string and the legs and the wings.
Yeah,
I've tried before and it never really works out. And I'm like, you know what?
Suckers.
Yeah, slippery, right? And I'm like, I've never actually learned how to tie a chicken properly, where the wings are tucked in and the legs are crossed over and it's good to go. Yeah. And so I spent 20 minutes on YouTube looking at videos and instructional things on how to tie a chicken. And for me, my go-to is always just learning something. It doesn't have to be a long project. Like I want to learn how to knit, which is going to take me months. I'm like, look for something in that moment where you're like, what don't I know? And then go and learn it.
See, the problem with that is, like, I have 2 younger kids, and my son is 5, and he's in the whole FML on a separate thing. My daughter is 10. She's fine. But it's like I get the time to myself, but when I'm home, I'm with them. So they come running, so I don't get that time to kind of do something for myself.
But that's the distraction as well, spending time with them. You're not spending money on food and shopping.
They're the cause of the stress.
Right? But I understand you have 2 young kids at home that add to the stress. As loving and as lovely as they are, they do add to the stress. But we're talking about the times when you are in control of yourself, of your life, of what you can and cannot do. Those are the times when you end up ordering food or you end up on Amazon and add to cart.
Yeah.
When you find yourself in those moments, Roz, great suggestion. Maybe learn something, right? Think of something that you've always wanted to know how to do. Go on YouTube or put on our podcast or, as I said before, another podcast or meditate, something that's going to take your mind off of all that stuff.
Yes, I'll definitely be trying that for sure. I love those tips.
Okay, Lena, hope that helps.
Yes. Stop making excuses.
Thank you so much.
Yo, man, she came for help, not
I know.
To get yelled at.
You'll be happy to know, I think at least Roz and the rest of the team will be happy to know that I recently upgraded to YouTube Premium.
There you go.
Hey! I'll still never do it, Lena. Right. I'm still not going to do it.
Oh, my husband's so against it too. So.
Oh, yeah? Yo, share my password with me, girl.
Family account.
Family share.
Love you, Lena.
Thank you. Love you too.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life
on Kiss.
Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life.
What advice can you guys give me?
Okay, so my question is...
Got a problem you can't fix?
Roz and Mocha got you.
Kathy is on Roz and Mocha's Fix My Life. You are down on yourself right now, girl. What's going on?
I just want to know, how do I stop blaming myself for my 2 grown-up sons falling out?
Kathy, you wrote us, hey, Roz and Mocha, Fix My Life. I have 2 adult sons that loved each other as kids, but now they hate each other. I mean hate. And one is estranged from me. Why do I question myself and my parenting? We just discussed this the other day. We had a woman call up for FML they have 1 kid, and she was debating whether to have a second kid because her 6-year-old really wanted a sibling. Mm-hmm. We were sort of going through everything with siblings and using me and my brother as an example because we're in our 50s. We still live together, right? Like we're just the closest 2 people that anybody could ever be. But one of the things that came up was you just never know. And I said that I think that I would be heartbroken my whole life if you had 2 kids and they wound up growing up and hating each other as adults. And that I don't know if I would ever not have a day where I obsessed about maybe it was something I did. Is that the sort of situation that you're in right now?
Oh, very much so.
How old are your kids?
The older one is 40.
Yeah.
And the other one is 36.
Okay. So what happened between them?
They were born here in Canada. Then we moved to the Middle East. We were out in Oman, Sultanate of Oman.
Okay.
For many, many years. And the older one would look out for the younger one. Yes, they squabbled. Every kid squabbles and all that. But somewhere when they got to the teens and the first one came back for university, came back to Canada because we stayed there 25 years. Somewhere when he came back, wrong connection with friends. I'm not sure. I guess it was a multi-tiered problem. Then the second one came back, and they live together. And then the next thing you know, all I hear is nasty stuff about each other. And I returned in 2015 from living overseas and realized, they don't like being in the same room, but they're putting up with it to a point now where they don't even come together.
So what do they say to each other? What do they say about each other to you?
They've had a falling out. So one of them has said, well, he wanted me to do this, and this, and he'd pay for my rent if I looked after this, and this. And it went bad on his part, not my part. And he lost the whole crop. I think you can imagine which crop I'm talking about. And
all right, so it all comes down to money. It all comes down to money.
Absolutely. And the thing is, the older one, so I try not to get into the middle of it. They were big boys at this point, and I was like, I don't know what the true story is because there's yours, mine, and the truth.
You will probably never know the truth.
Exactly.
Because if it's something that meant that much to them, and we're talking about money, weed, ego, cred, saving face, all this other stuff, you may never know the truth. And they may, both of them, understand that it doesn't matter how they feel about each other. They can hate each other, but they may have understood collectively that the only thing that can't happen is that you can't be told the absolute truth.
Or one of them both don't want to really say what the part was.
At this point, Kathy, I think, and I don't know, you tell me what you think, Roz, maybe the best approach is to say to each of them, tell them how much you love them, tell them how much you are going to be there for them. Maybe you don't fully understand both sides, but you'll be there to listen to them, express how hurt you are by all of this, and just tell them exactly how you feel.
No, the older one I have sent, and he's blocked me, messages and everything, but I have sent him an email. I don't know his address because he won't give it to me.
Roz, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you should question your parenting, but not that you've done anything wrong. The son who is estranged from you and won't even give you his address, right? He feels that you didn't give him what he needed.
Yes.
Right? And whether that's true or not, but that's his perception of it, right? So at this point, I think that you are way beyond the giving him a call and telling him that how much you love him. If you ever want to figure out what went wrong, you have to ask him how you failed him. Whether it's true or not, that's what he's sitting on. And he's not waiting for you to try and get him back together with his brother or fix the family, everything else. He needs the acknowledgement that you failed him.
I agree.
Okay? And then that's the conversation. If there's going to be a conversation, that's the conversation. Again, I'm not saying you did, but he feels like you did, and you need to get to the bottom of it. Like if you want to do the mother thing right now, then get to the bottom of that.
That was amazing advice, Roz.
It's sad. It's just thank
yo,
you.
Kathy, use Roz's advice over mine. That's why he's so good at this stuff.
No, it's all good. Like it's all part of it, right? It's the steps you take in the right order.
Yeah,
you're gonna do it all, but it's just where do you start?
Yeah, and you're a mom that cares, and you're a mom that loves, and I think they both need to know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
All the best, girl.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Catch the guys live
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10
on Kiss 92.5.
Kiss925.com.
Or download the Seeker app.